for you guys to come online and listen to this. This is a very important update on the military operation that Israel is conducting right now in Gaza and some other fronts. So people ask me to wait a few seconds so they can hear everything from the very beginning. So I'll do that right now. But again, I've got some news. I've got some, I guess, breaking news. And we're going to talk in just a few seconds. So let me know that you're online and we'll start. So, again, breaking news. Apparently, Prime Minister Netanyahu is going to sign on a unilateral, listen to me, unilateral ceasefire. And let me explain why. Unilateral ceasefire means that you decide that you stop shooting or bombing or firing something, and you call the shots, you dictate the terms, and it's up to you. You're the one. You don't ask anybody else. Now, we want to show the American administration that is pushing and pressing right now that Israel is okay with stopping right now. We've reached a point where we destroyed so much of the infrastructure, of the terror infrastructure in Gaza, that we can afford declaring a unilateral ceasefire. Hamas doesn't like it. Why? They want a ceasefire that will be agreed upon on their terms, which means they want to make sure that we are not going to enter Jerusalem's neighborhoods and to the Temple Mount and this and that. They want to be seen as the guardians of Al-Aqsa and all of that. Well, we're not going to give them that luxury. Not only that, the minute you are unilaterally stopping the fire, you can always shoot again if you see that something is wrong. For example, if some of those heads of Hamas, like the chief head of Hamas, pops out of the tunnel to the surface, we keep the right to eliminate him. If we see rockets being manufactured, if we see some suspicious things going on, we keep the right to deal with that at the time and the place that we want, because it's a unilateral ceasefire. Now, how do I know that this is the direction? Hamas released a statement that said that if Israel is unilaterally holding the fire, that means Israel was defeated. Now, let me explain to you something about the way Arabs think. They live in fantasy land that they always win every war. Up until today, the defeat of Egypt in Yom Kippur 1973 is being celebrated in Egypt as a victory. If you remember when America invaded into Iraq, the minister of propaganda of Iraq was saying, "We are killing the Americans at our gates." And while he was speaking, America bombed Baghdad behind him. I mean, there is a complete detachment from reality. The narrative is more important than the reality itself. Hamas must save face somehow by telling his people, look, 15,000 houses are gone, but hey, we won. Hey, look, they stopped firing. They must do something. They must explain how come 500 terrorists are gone. They must explain how come underground tunnels that cost $750 million are gone. They must explain how come Gaza looks like after an earthquake. They must explain all these things to so many people right now. So what they are going to say is, hey, look, we defeated Israel and now they hold the fire. It's a ceasefire. Now, make no mistake, when it's a unilateral ceasefire, the power is in your hand. You call the shots. You say when you shoot, you say when you stop shooting, you say, this is, I do things by my terms. There is nothing that binds me to hold my fire. There's no agreement with anyone. I decided to hold the fire. Now, the Egyptians closed the border with Gaza, and they are not allowing gasoline to enter into Gaza until Hamas will stop the fire. Egypt told Hamas, if you stop the fire, we're going to let you have it. Israel, by the way, few times wanted to move some equipment, some medications, some food, and Hamas bombed those trucks. And so my point is very clear. Israel had a super successful military campaign. It has gone above and beyond what we expected. And the rules have changed. No longer they are going to, work in the coming year, 2, 3, 4, to build up this power once again. So we are going to face again a monster later on. But we reserve the right to always eliminate a threat as it is being observed. Netanyahu is sitting right now in Tel Aviv with the head of the General Security Service or General Secret Service, as well as the Chief of Staff. He's going over all the targets and all the terror infrastructures that Israel destroyed and all those that Israel wished to destroy. And guess why he's doing that? Because if Israel wants to hold the fire, let's say by midnight, let's say 4 hours from now, we've got 4 hours to get rid of all those things we haven't gotten rid of. And so what I'm trying to say is that we are now going to face a super, super intense night. Hamas is going to fire everything it has to show that they did great. Israel is going to destroy everything that is left in our targets bank. And eventually, at some point, Israel will say, okay, we're no longer firing. And the world will say to Hamas, yeah, you need to stop firing. But Israel is going to tell the whole world, the rules have changed. From now on, we reserve the right to eliminate every threat as is. From this morning, the Palestinians fired 300 rockets. And make no mistake, more than 10%, 42 of them fell within Gaza. What you don't understand is that they are firing thousands of rockets, but at least 12 to 15% of them fall within Gaza and kill people. They don't tell that to the world. All they can say is that we are suffering. Israel is killing babies. Israel is killing. Look, we didn't start this whole thing. I mean, you should have thought about this when you started firing rockets, not at military installations. You fire rockets at our cities and towns and villages, all civilians. You hide behind civilians. You hide underneath civilians. Your launchers are in regular homes from the window. So if we destroy that house, everybody's dead. Look, that's why we're using laser guided and very, very in video guided smart bombs that go straight to that window and keep the house intact. Folks, you just need to understand the ceasefire that we're going to have in probably a few hours from now is going to be different than any other operation we ever had. And look, we can continue and bomb and they fire and we bomb and they fire. It's going to be endless. But at some point you say to yourself, I've achieved my goals. I've destroyed everything I needed to destroy. All the intelligence I gathered in the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, all the bank of targets that I had is gone. So I'm okay to say, okay, let's have a ceasefire right now. So I'm calling all of you to pray because this is going to be a very intense night. I believe that in order to somehow glorify, edify, and magnify the victory, fake victory of Hamas, there could be some rockets flying from other directions, such as Lebanon or Syria as well. So, very, very tense night is ahead of us. Very, very interesting situation. I want you all to pray hard. Sometimes the last hour of a long war could be the deadliest one because the enemy is just using everything it has. So please pray that there will be no casualties here, and pray that this whole thing is going to be over. Unfortunately, because of the situation, I had to postpone or cancel my US speaking tour for May and June. And we're in the process of moving all the speaking engagements right now to July, just to play it safe. But I will be coming to America to speak, and in all of those places that I was supposed to. We just moved it a few weeks later, and that's all. But again, folks, breaking news: ceasefire is about to be reached, not between the Israelis and the Palestinians. It's going to be a unilateral ceasefire, which means Israel is going to tell the world, not the Palestinians, we are going to stop firing at Gaza. And that's it. And again, Israel is going to make it very clear to the world, not to the Palestinians, that we reserve the right to eliminate any threat from now on. We are not bound to any international agreement with them because anyway, they don't keep it. Now, again, you're going to hear all around the Arab media that Hamas won and Hamas defeated Israel, because this is the narrative that they have. You ever seen an Arab country that said that they lost? Have you ever seen anything? No. Again, I said Egypt lost in 1973, a horrible defeat, and yet they mark it as a victory every year up until today. Look, this is it. You cannot sell your people defeat. You can sell your people victory. Although the whole world could see what Gaza turned into, although even the residents of Gaza know that really nothing came out of this whole thing for the Palestinians. If anything, Israel used the opportunity to destroy what Hamas has built in the last 10 years. But again, the narrative is going to be that Hamas defeated Israel. Israel, of course, is going to show its own people all the achievement of this very, very good military operation. And now we're going to go back to the political chaos and who is going to be prime minister, who is not going to be prime minister. Are we going to a fifth round of elections or not? You just don't know. Hey, so again, breaking news: ceasefire is now being talked about. The pressure from the U.S. administration is mounting. President Biden made it very clear to Prime Minister Netanyahu that he's expecting it. Today, Prime Minister Netanyahu is now meeting with entire military leadership right now to assess the situation. We've got a window of few hours to finish the job, basically. And that means anything that is left on our target bank has to be eliminated in the next few hours. But the same goes with the Palestinians. They're going to use the next few hours to shoot everything they have to save face and to show that their hands is the upper hand. Okay, so don't buy this propaganda. Don't buy this delusional approach. I think the Palestinians know exactly what's going on there. I think the whole world is seeing what's going on there. And I think our enemies can see that the rules have changed and Israel will not allow. Now, one thing I'm glad that is going to happen is that Israel will be once again focusing on the increasing Iranian presence in Syria. Over 100,000 people were recruited and entered into Syria from Iraq, and they were recruited by the Iranians. And these are three main militias. and they are spreading all around Syria. What Hamas in Gaza is, we're now having five different Hamases all around Syria that will be ready at the moment the Iranians will tell them that they should start shooting at Israel. They are building underground tunnels right there. Look, everything Hamas is doing is following the doctrine of, we call it spider webs, in that Iran is trying to create all around. Qasem Soleimani, the 45th president of America, understood that and eliminated the head of the snake, cut off the head of the snake. But they've been doing that already. They started. They got the money. They got the funds. They got the infrastructures. They got the training, and they're doing that right now in Israel. Just as it is going to do in Gaza from now on, it should go back to Syria and continue the destruction of the Iranian, I guess, entrenchment there in different parts of Syria. Keep praying, folks. This is going to be, of all nights, the 11th night is going to be the worst, the longest, and maybe even the deadliest, because it is the finish line that everybody wants to reach with the upper hand. So pray hard, please. And again, everybody in Israel understands. Uh, Never ever to underestimate what's going on when you reach the finish line. Guys, thank you. Pray, and if there's anything that I need to update you with, I will do so. Thank you. God bless you, and shalom from